Yeah, Bob and Ray. This is Bill from upstairs. You remember borrowing that stapler from me back in 1954? Yeah, I'd kind of like to have that back.
Well, I'm sure the Sitting Duck is pretty close to docking now. And for that story, let's call in Wally Ballou aboard that boat.
Ballou, in the wheelhouse of the Sitting Duck, which now has made quite a bit of distance.
There you go, 213.
There you go, 213, between the Narrows and the pier on the North River.
All right, two-thirds.
Two-thirds now, where we're going
All
to
right, head two-thirds.
land. Captain Gibbs is
Yes?
still at my side and has taken over the wheel. What are you doing now, Captain?
Steering.
And you're going to make a right turn up here, is that right? Is that Navy lingo or seafaring talk?
You mean right and left turns?
Yeah.
No, not really. That's automobile lingo, so to speak.
Uh-huh.
But, no, we turn port or aft or starboard, you see.
Well, now you're aiming for that little pier there.
That's the aim now, not the pier, beside it.
Uh-huh.
There's a little body of water there between the two piers, and I'm going to try to squeeze the Sitting Duck in there and let the people get off.
How many people do you have passengers aboard right now?
Well, we mostly have bananas here,
Uh-huh.
but we have 4 or 5 folks who came along for the trip. They're all executives with the banana company.
I understand that's quite a pleasant way to travel, and inexpensive, too.
What?
A banana boat. And now we're in, I'd say, about 50 feet from the dock. And what is that you're doing now, Captain? Oh, taking a drink of water. How long will it be before the boat comes to a complete halt?
As soon as it stops. Oh, I hit the pier there. Now, that's a mistake.
Do they mind when you do that, the people that own the pier?
Well, they're covered. I mean, they have insurance to cover that. But they don't like it, no. They'd rather we didn't. Now I'm ringing the bell.
What does that signify?
Nothing special. It's something to do while I'm waiting for the boat to kind of wedge itself free here. This is the worst,
Captain.
man. This is the worst
Captain.
I've done. Yes, I think it's being on
Captain.
the air. Yes.
I was leaning over the side just as you brought the boat into a stop, and I had the microphone.
You better
over.
get out. I'm going to get out of here.
Captain,
I'm getting out of here, folks.
I have my finger caught between the... My finger.
Get off there.
What?
You better get out of there.
My finger. Wally Ballou returning you to... Here's a feature we like to come up upon at these sessions, which we call Questions and Answers to Bob and Ray. We just kind of throw everything open to our studio guests. There aren't too many of them here today at this time, as a matter of fact, but maybe some of you have a question you'd like to have Ray or myself answer, and we'll certainly try to do so to the best of our ability. Who has that lady with her hand up?
Yes, if I may. I've been listening to you, Bob and Ray.
Would you stand, please, ma'am, if you're directing a question to us here?
Certainly.
Podium.
All right. Bob and Ray, I've been listening to you since 1929.
Uh-huh.
And I attended one of your shows many, many years ago, and the studio was gaily festooned, as I recall.
Yes.
And when I came into the studio about an hour ago, I was rather disappointed in the somber decor of your studio today, and I wondered what the reason was, why you changed from such gaily festooned studio to this one, which is very, very depressing.
That is an interesting
May I
question.
sit down for the answer?
Yes, of
Thank
course.
you.
I'll stand for the answer myself. The question of why we don't decorate the studio is rather a complex one. It somewhat resembles the problem of a hotel which finds itself being stolen, having all of its towels stolen. Do you realize how much money a hotel loses in a year, say, from people stealing towels for souvenirs to take home?
Why, I'm not listening.
We found that our bunting...
What has towels got to do with it?
Well,
I
it's
think I asked you something
No.
about festoons, Ray.
It's a problem. I'm Bob, ma'am. Ray is downstairs.
Well, what do you know about that?
Having a quick one.
I thought you would change.
No, the point is, this bunting that we used to use...
What happened to you, Bob?
Nothing happened to me, ma'am.
That's what
I've
you
always
think.
looked this way. Well, do you want to hear the answer, or do you want to just sit there? I could be sitting down, too.
Well, if you could give me a direct answer and not talk to
No.
me about hotel towels.
No, I meant that the cost of bunting became quite exorbitant over the past years. People would steal little pieces of it at each broadcast to take home as souvenirs, and we found that our festoonery was running into quite a bit of money at the end of a year.
And those big pictures you used to have of
The
yourself.
big blow-ups, the 8x10 blow-ups of us.
Yes.
Well, they've skyrocketed in price, too. And, of course, noisemakers that we gave to
I
the
know
audience,
those have gone up
they've
because
gone
I
up.
had a birthday party for a nephew, and I was amazed at the cost of those little things. They
Well, what
used
the
to be
deuce
so-
has that got to do with what we're talking about here?
I'm sorry.
Now, then we had a crew that did nothing but festoon the studio before we went on the air, and then defestoon it later, whatever was left of it that they didn't steal, and the labor costs were prohibitive on that.
Lady, it's a shame to think that you've taken 3 minutes radio time. It goes coast to coast to ask a stupid question like that.
I think
Why
I
don't
can
you
wrap
ask
it.
Something serious.
I think I can wrap it all up for you,
Rather.
ma'am. We decided that the show either stands or falls on its content,
Boy.
and all the bunting in the world wouldn't make it any better.
Oh, what a boy. I mean, if you wanted a wonderful, wonderful phony answer, that was it. Brother.
Again, we return to Wally Ballou, who is, I assume, still aboard the great ship Sitting Duck. Come in, correspondent Wally Ballou.
Wally Ballou, standing here at the edge of the deck with my finger still caught between the dock and the side of the Sitting Duck, which pulled in here to New York just a while ago. Captain, what are the chances of moving the vessel so that I can extricate my finger?
Well, I'll,
There's no pain or anything.
No, it's just a case of being stuck there, isn't it,
That's
Marla?
right, and it's kind of awkward to carry
Well,
on the
well,
radio broadcast in this shed.
Ben, will you move the boat a little bit up there, please?
1/3.
Yeah, back about a third.
All into that for head 1/3.
1/3.
15 degrees rudder? Right 15 degrees rudder.
That should do it, because you sure they're going the right way now, away from the dock?
Right 15.
Yes. Be sure you're going away from the dock.
200.
Wow.
There you go, 213.
Oh, wait a
Okay.
minute.
Hey, did you get your finger on
Yes,
it?
yes, I did.
Okay, you can bring it back in. Now, is
Boy,
there
that's much better.
any other questions now before you leave?
No, I don't believe so. How's the chow in this vessel?
So the food's all very good here. At sea, you have a great appetite. And although we had a rather hectic landing, I do hope that you and your great crew will pay us a call again whenever the Sitting Duck comes back
Well,
to
we
port.
certainly hope
I'm
so.
awful sorry that this happened.
Oh,
but,
forget it,
I
Captain.
think the entire crew is nervous.
Oh, that's... Of course
Knowing
they
that,
are.
you radio-
Nobody's fault but my own. I shouldn't have had my finger down there between the ship and the dock anyway.
Knowing that you radio people were aboard, I think probably affected the crew. But again, thank you, and we hope that you'll always consider the Sitting Duck as kind of a second home.
Well, we'll certainly do that, Captain, and it's been a pleasure talking to you and to all of the men in the Sitting Duck.
Anchors away.
What?
Anchors away.
That's so.
No, I'm giving a signal to drop anchor.
Oh, and this is Wally Ballou returning you to New York.
Yeah, this is Bernie. You called me from the locksmith's office. Came to your door, can't get in. Somebody let me in?
We've called over the cards listing the symptoms of people in our audience and picked out what we believe to be the most unusual and interesting symptom for today. And we're going to have Dr. Von Baer, our Bob and Ray employee physician, analyze it. Yeah, boy. And will you come over here, sir, with the symptom? Ah, so now. Shall I take over here? Yeah, you better, Doctor. All right, sit down here.
Yes.
First, let me hit, cross your legs there, your knees. Let me hit the knee there, see what happens.
Okay, Doctor.
First, before I go any further, tell me what it is that you think is your problem, what you wrote on your card there.
Well, I don't know what's wrong. I do know the symptoms I have, and It's this. Yeah.
Well, go ahead. Be open-minded about the thing. We're here to help you, and you were
Well, I'm a
picked
little
as the
hesitant
audience
to-
member with the most interesting symptoms, and that's why they sent you up here.
While I'm a little hesitant to go on the air on a coast-to-coast radio and hook up.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, I will. See, I have these lumps on my leg, like from halfway down the calf, down around the ankle.
Oh, down around the ankle, yeah. All
Both
right,
legs,
we
both.
get to that. Now, I got to fill out a few questions here. How old are you, first of all?
I'm 29.
Do you have a normal high school education?
Well, yes, I graduated.
Do you ever work on a milk truck?
Yes, I did as a boy.
You ever sell newspapers?
No, sir.
So, ever work for a banking concern as a runner?
No, you mean have I been on my feet a lot?
No, that wasn't what I meant. I just want to get your background here a little bit. You got any brothers and sisters?
Yes, I got 2 brothers and 2 sisters.
All right. Older than you or younger than you? One
well,
or the
it's
other.
mixed up.
All right. And
Some's older, some's younger.
currently you're living in New York City, right?
That's right.
Now we get to the root of your trouble here. Pull up your pant leg there a little bit.
I've had this since about the 4th grade.
Yeah,
These
but,
lumps in my legs.
let me get this measure out here. Does that hurt at all there?
No, itchy a little.
How about this side, this other leg here?
Yeah, that doesn't hurt, no.
Uh-huh.
It's itchy like the other leg, though.
Yeah. It's pretty big lumps there. See. I think I've analyzed your problem, sir.
Yes, Doctor.
You wearing long underwear?
Yes, sir.
That's what it is. It's loose down. It's lumpy down there around under your socks there.
Oh, that's what it is, yes.
That's right. Well, have we made you feel a little bit better?
Sure do. Now I feel like going dancing. I feel like I'm no longer in the gathering dusk.
So, medicine marches on.
Hey, we got big news today for all anchovy lovers.
Anchovies, as you know, friends, are small little fish of the herring family, noted for their peculiar flavor, and used for pickling and as a sauce or a canopy.
Anchovies come curled up like little snails, and there was a time when this was considered fashionable and decorative, but not anymore.
No longer should anchovies be served all rolled up in a little ball, friends. Today, anchovies should be served long.
Anchovy strips, we call them. And if you haven't had anchovy strip salad or an anchovy wedge, you haven't really enjoyed anchovies as they should be
Now,
enjoyed.
if you'll bring in camera 1, please, you'll see here on the table, friends, a small ironing board together with the new Bob and Ray anchovy ironer.
Now, you can iron your own anchovies right at home there with very little trouble and at practically no expense.
Now, we're going to iron a few anchovies right here in the studio so that you can see for yourself how easy it really is.
Or if you can iron a shirt, you'll have no trouble ironing an anchovy. No buttons to iron around, no pleats to beware of, and nothing to starch.
First, you gently test the iron by wetting your finger and, touching it to the bottom of the iron like I did there.
That's a little too hot, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Mm-hmm.
Then, taking the anchovy...
See, it's set for wool.
Oh, yeah. Try it on...
No, I'll have to set it for fish. Wait a minute.
I'll try it.
That's better.
That's better. Now, take the anchovy between your thumb and second finger, place it on the table, put the point of the iron at the base of the anchovy.
Now you gently press the anchovy out, prodding with the point of the iron until flat, like I'm doing here.
Well, that's all there is to it. Lift up the iron, take a sharp knife, and pry the anchovy from the base of the iron onto a plate.
Now, to get this bargain of a lifetime, write to Pressed Flat, New York. And that fanfare serves to introduce, of course, the 64-cent question. And here now, to MC, to ask the questions, Larry Lovebreath.
Well, thank you very much. And hello and welcome to what we think is going to be radio's most exciting game, a chance to run 2 cents all the way up to 64 cents. And who's our first contestant who's going to try?
Her name is Bertha Lally.
All right, will you send Miss Lally out here? Miss Lally is from King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. Isn't that right, Miss Lally?
That's right.
And are you a little bit nervous as you stand here at our stage and prepare to try and run yourself up into a fortune?
I don't know whether it's nervousness or excitement, Mr. Lovebreath.
I see. Well, okay, now, first of all, as you know, you have to pick your category from this big board behind me. Now, you got popular music, you've got geography, history.
Well, I've already made up my mind.
You've chosen your category.
Yes, it's jousting.
Jousting, okay. Well, I hope you know your subject, and we want to wish you a lot of luck. You have 2 cents, as you know, to begin with, and so here is your first question. Jousting has been a yearly event down in Natural Chimneys, Virginia, for some time, as a matter of fact. It's been called America's oldest continuous sporting event. Now, think carefully, Miss Lally, for 4 cents. How many years have they held this jousting tournament in Natural Chimneys, Virginia?
Well, it started in 1821, so when they hold it this year, it will be the 134th.
134 years, right. And it's held on the 17th of August. I don't know
That's
whether
right,
did
it
you know
is.
that? Well, you certainly do know your subject, Miss Lally. Now, before you decide whether or not you want to try and run that 4 cents up to 8 and double your money, remember, after you get 8 cents, the least you can win is a box of marshmallows. I want you to go over into that isolation booth and think it over carefully, okay?
All right.
And we'll be calling you back later, and a great deal of luck to you.
Thank you.
A wonderful contestant. Thank you.
Want to talk with anybody in the audience today, I wonder?
How about that old gentleman on the end of the second row there? Would you come up here, Granddad?
You
And,
talking to me?
Yes.
Where do you get the old granddad?
Well, I just use that as kind of a friendly term.
No, I meant where do you get the old granddad? I wouldn't mind having a little.
Not around here.
Oh,
We're on the radio now.
Oh, righto.
Well, I should tell you. Where are you from?
I'm from New Jersey.
By the looks of your hale and hearty complexion, you're an outdoor man. You work outdoors?
That's right. I raise hogs.
Is that so? That's quite an industry, I suppose.
It's quite an industry. Of course, without your hogs, you'd never have your ham or your bacon. You wouldn't have your fresh pork. You wouldn't have probably your toothbrushes.
Or your sausages.
Yes, sir. Sausages and so forth.
Yes. How long you been at this? All your life?
No, I've only been raising hogs for about 4 years.
I've heard it said that hogs don't make very good house pets. Is that?
No, they're not an animal that you'd want to keep in the house. For one thing, you never really get to know a hog.
You can't get close to them, huh?
Oh, boy, no. No, indeed. And
Are they friendly? I mean,
no, a hog is not a friendly animal by any stretch of the imagination.
Mm-hmm.
He actually is a pretty mean animal, a hog. You wouldn't think so,
wouldn't
probably.
go so far as to attack you, would he?
Oh, yes. If he thought that you were helpless, he'd attack you.
Is that so? Huh?
You bet it's so. There's no doubt about it. You fall down in a pigsty, and you know you've fallen down someplace.
Uh-huh. Well, thanks very much for talking with us, sir, and best of luck over at your pig farm.
I'm going from here over to the Waldorf Astoria. I'm going to sit around the lobby for a while.
Like this? You're going over there?
I got nice, comfortable chairs. I thought I'd read a
Well,
paper.
I know, but... Well, okay, that's up to you.
Okay.
Yes, sir, it's our new radio game, and back in our stage is Ms. Bertha Lally of King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, and we're going to see what her decision is. She's already earned 4 cents for herself, and Miss Lally, what have you decided about trying to double that and go right on?
I'll try.
You're going to try and go for 8 cents, is that right? Now, as you know, very good. Are you nervous, or do you think that you'll
No,
be
I'm
advanced?
quite familiar with my subject,
All
Mr.
right.
Lovebreath. I'm not nervous at all.
All right, well, Miss Lally has chosen for her category jousting. She answered the first question correctly, and now let's turn on the question machine, which automatically gives us your next question for 8 cents, Miss Lally. Here it is, and our lovely assistant Elaine has just handed it to us, and we would like to know, for 8 cents, the story of how jousting and this jousting tournament down in Natural Chimneys, Virginia, got started.
Well,
Think carefully now, Miss Lally.
the story goes that the hand of one of the local belles was sought by two ardent swains back in, as I told you before, 1821. 134 years ago.
Right so far.
And the lady was unable to make up her mind. And finally, her schoolmaster uncle suggested that she bestow her favor, as in the days of King Arthur's knights, upon the winner of a jousting contest. And it was to be about proving skill, horsemanship, without the mortal danger of the old English tournaments, when each rider sought to unseat the other, and as such arouse the sporting interest of the whole countryside. Now, on the fateful day, the two young knights met in the Valley of Virginia at a place called Natural Chimneys, where 7 curious rock formations tower more than 100 feet in the air.
This is remarkable,
from
Miss
a
Lally.
level plain. I know my subject.
You
Now,
certainly
at the
do.
end of the contest, well, one of them won anyway. I think what was the question?
That was right. That's absolutely right. And Miss Lally has told us the story of how the jousting tournament began. And now it's going to be up to you to make up your mind whether you want to try and double that. You have 8 cents. You're going for the first scaffolding. And I want you to think it over carefully, Miss Lally, before you decide, all right?
Yes.
And you'll be back a little bit later to try for that 16-cent question. And that will be the gateway to big money, okay?
All right.
We'll look for you again real soon.
Hello there. Say, have we got exciting news for you this week?
Yes, sir. Fall is here again, and of course, all of you regulars know that that's Bob and Ray Mystery Bus Ride time.
You remember what a success it was last year, the mystery bus ride? Well, it's even going to be more exciting this year, and the cost is going to be just about the same. Maybe $1 or $2 more, but basically
Well,
it'll be the same price.
Everything has gone up, Ray. I don't think anyone would complain about that.
I don't think so.
We haven't got the exact date set, but we thought today it might be fun to stir up a little interest, if you haven't heard about it, to run a film of last year's Mystery Bus Ride so you can get the idea of just how this works out. It is a lot of fun.
Okay, would you turn on the film there now? We'll describe it. Now, here we are standing in Times Square,
That's the meeting place.
where everyone who's going on the mystery bus ride shows up.
Sorry, this wasn't a... See, we had gotten all of our listeners to write in previous to this and send their money in, and then we told them to meet us.
Right here is a lady who is questioning now whether she wants to go, and
Remember the trouble
she had to
gave us?
she had to be helped aboard.
See, the trouble with this is that these people don't know... Well, the whole point of the mystery bus ride is that they pay their money and they get on the bus, the shades are drawn, and only the bus driver and the Bob and Ray staff know where the bus is going.
And it's a mystery ride, and we bring them back to Times Square, maybe midnight, 1 or 2 o'clock. Unfortunately, last year we had tire trouble, you'll recall.
Wait. There's the lady signaling she wants to get off there. That's a funny shot.
That's right. And the Bob and Ray attendants, of course, can't permit that.
I think it's a little just about here where that flat tire happens, isn't it?
Here we did have the flat tire, and the Bob and Ray attendants, that's Wilbur Conley, young squirt who works for us, putting blindfolds around all the people before they can leave the bus and stand around in what appears to be a corn patch.
There they are. There they are, all standing around with the blindfolds on, and a state trooper is going to come along in just a minute. You'll see. There he comes. And there's some law about wearing masks in public, and the whole bunch was arrested.
There we are. We're Bob and Ray now talking to the police officer. And
We
Bob
can't talk him out of it, though.
Bob and Ray now signaling to the mystery bus riders to follow them.
And there we go, as many as possible, into the waiting police van, and they're driven off. I guess that's about all,
That's it.
Max.
I think that's about all we can show.
The rest of it is... watch that film. Don't ruin it. I want to keep that.
So there you have it. And I imagine a little bit like this would whet your appetite. We don't have the exact dates. As soon as we do, we'll let you know. That's the Bob and Ray Mystery Bus Ride. Keep it in mind for your fall entertainment.
Bob and Ray Theater page. Now, last night I had the pleasure of traveling up to Leechburg, Connecticut, to the Brown Barn Theater for the opening of a new play starring a good friend of ours who invited us up, as a matter of fact, Barry Campbell. I'd like to... Can you play the tape right now? Elliot backstage at the Brown Barn Theater after the second act of tonight's opening play, Cry for Mercy, starring Barry Campbell. Barry is here with me now, and this is the first time I've seen you in your natural environment, Barry. Here at backstage at the theater.
Didn't know what you meant by that.
I didn't mean with the cows and animals.
Bob, hope you haven't been inconvenienced too much by getting your car mired out there in the mud. I'm awfully sorry about that.
I was a little concerned about the rain this afternoon, Baer, and of course it did keep away, I would imagine, a good number of people who would have come tonight.
Well, you see, the barn is located in a regular sea of mud when it rains, and we had planned to get some rocks out there so the people could step on them to get over to the barn, but the rain didn't let up until 40 minutes before curtain time.
Well, it certainly was bad luck. Barry, I enjoyed the first two acts. How do you think the few people who were here liked it? Did the animals interfere at all, do you think?
Well, the animals do interfere. They have been interfering at all the performances.
Wasn't it possible to keep them in their pens or stalls?
Well, you see, the farmer who owns this property here insisted that we not pen up his animals after sundown, which we had suggested.
Well, it would make it easier.
He has your goats, and he has your cows, and he has your chickens and hogs. And see, he comes out and he kind of feeds the hogs about 4:30.
I noticed one of the hogs rooting around the scenery over there. Did that interfere anything with the second act? Did it bother you at all?
Yes, and of course there is a strong, what would you say, strong hog smell.
Yeah, I understand. Now, about the play, speaking of that, Cry for Mercy, how is it all going to come out? I think that's the question on everybody's lips here at the end of the second act. With one act to go, how is it going to resolve itself?
Well, the wife of the high school teacher.
Played by you, I might say, and very ably, too, Barry.
No, I play the high school teacher.
That's what I mean, yes.
The wife of the high school teacher, in the third final act, cries for mercy. And
that's the title,
doesn't get it.
And doesn't get it. And the curtain comes down, does it, at that point?
Right after the murder and then the solution of the crime.
Well, we're all anxious to see it, and we certainly hope that the weather will be better tomorrow. And
even the hens are way off. Listen to them cackling now. They shouldn't be doing this until 5 o'clock in the morning.
Well, Barry Campbell, it's been nice talking to you here at the Brown Barn.
Down to slop the hogs again. This is really tough.
And it's almost curtain time for Act 3 of Cry for Mercy. And this is Bob and Ray's theatrical reporter, Bob, sending it back to New York.
Close in 5 minutes.